Awesome. Well, thank you all for being here today. This is our federal resume webinar for LHIP. We do have a couple birdability interns joining us today, and my colleague Shaviza is the program manager for birdability. But I'm going to turn it over to Kathryn Troutman, who's going to be our presenter today for the federal resume webinar. So Kathryn, you have the floor.
Okay, I'll take it. Hi, everybody. I'm Kathryn Troutman, and I am the author of the Students Federal Career Guide. Hopefully you got the book or you will get it pretty soon. I am in Maryland, and I'm going to use the chat box a little bit, so you should go find it. This is a 1-hour class, and my objective is to teach you how to write a correct federal resume. It's really just one thing. That's all, just a correct federal resume. And the federal resume is very, very different than the private sector resume. The private sector resumes are 1 to 2 pages, and the federal resumes are longer. They're 2 or 3 pages. So there's a lot of differences between the two resume formats. I'd like you to type in the chat box your job title and where you are located, what park you're working with. Can you please do that in the chat box so I'll know where you are? And I'd like to know job titles so I'll know, who's here. Interpreter, biologist, whatever you are. And then when I go to USA Jobs, I'll go look for the right jobs. I love to see where everyone is. I love them. I love the national parks myself. So you're so lucky to work at the national park. Okay, good. All right, while you do that, I'll put the PowerPoint up. It's cool to see who is in the class, isn't it? To read the list yourself. Don't you love that? Say yes. Yes, you do. It's really neat to see where everyone is and what they're doing. That's one thing I really like about virtual classes, that the chat notes are shared with everybody. So amazing. I taught a class yesterday in a conference, and they had paper and they had their cell phones. So they were writing notes on their cell phones. Okay, can you see the PowerPoint? I think you can. Say yes. Do you see it? Yes. Okay, thank you. Okay, so here we go. These are the 10 steps for students for getting positions or internships in government. And we're going to go through them right now. And we're going to start with accomplishments. And an accomplishment for you is a project that you're working on in your internship now, or it could be a project from school, from your bachelor's or master's degree. And the reason we start with this is that I want you to make your resume interesting and specific, and I want you to write details about what you're working on. And the reason you want to do that is that you want to be competitive. You want your resume to be best qualified. You want to get referred to a manager. You want to get picked up for an interview. And the way you do that is by adding things to your resume that are interesting. And one recruiter called it Sparkle. I taught a class at the Statue of Liberty a couple of years ago, and he said that he was the person to read all the summer resumes for summer people. And he said, I have 600 resumes right now to read. I said, how do you decide who to interview? He said, well, I just look for the sparkle. So that's what we're going to be talking about here, is the sparkle. Here's an example of how we write up the stories. We use a formula called the CCAR, the context of your story, the challenge of what you're working on, the actions that you took, and the results. And I even have a tool on my website for storytelling like this. And here's a sample of a CCAR for a school project. This is an independent research project for a BS in biology. And the context was this person conducted an independent research project to develop processes for brewery wastewater, whatever. The challenge was it was significant investment of time. The actions were she managed a team, and the results were that she presented the findings. So what I want you to do now is I want you to write something in the chat box. I want you to write 8 to 10 words on a project that you are working on now that will become an accomplishment story in your resume. Just 8 to 10 words on something you're working on now. Go ahead and write it in the chat box. That sounds good, Claire. Wow, these are so good. Wow. Okay, so now I want you to write something else. I want you to write 8 to 10 words about the challenge of this project. It could be first time ever, new information, you had to do database or use R or something. What's the challenge? Go ahead and write the challenge of the project. Extensive research, original research. That's great. I love challenges. They're so good. Okay, now this is a different question, has to do with the same project. I want to know if there are, write any numbers that can be attached to your story. Like how many birds, how many acres, how many people, how many miles, how many data, anything, any kind of numbers you could add. It goes to data, you know. But you could also write what the data is that you're working with on your project. Oh, wow. This is great. These notes that you're writing here, I'm going to send to you after the class. So you'll have them to work on your resume. All right, one more question on this study. I have one more. I want to know what is your plan for results? What are the hoped for results? What are you trying to achieve? That would be results. What are you trying to do? It's so good. All right, so you've just written a CCAR as a context challenge action results example of work that you're doing now. And this needs to go in your resume. And it can be the length of the screen. You see here on the screen is 6 sentences long or more. 8 sentences is okay, not too much, but the example needs to go into the resume. If this is part of your current internship, it would go in the block in your internship. So do you have this in your resume now? Is it in your resume as you can say not in the resume, or it's 1 sentence, or it's 5 sentences? Tell me what you have in the resume now on this study that you just wrote about. Well, this was a good project, wasn't it, to start out the class? You just wrote it. All you have to do now is get the notes from me and pull together your answers and make it look like this one here on the screen and copy and paste it into your resume. That's all you have to do. And then you've got 1 study written about. But then you got to go back and write a couple more, because I know you've done more studies than 1. So, but you've got the format now. You know the amount of information that should go into the study. And it's not just a 1 sentence deal. It's a description of the story, the numbers, the purpose, the challenge, and the results. So excellent. So now you got that. So federal student hiring, average student resumes are 1 to 2 pages. The federal resume is 2 to 4. And let me ask you a question. How many pages is your resume now? You can tell the truth. It's fine. It's a resume class. How many pages? Oh, you're students. You go back college, beginning of college. Yeah. So if you all have 2 pages now, chances are it's going to grow to 3, because you're going to add more details on projects and your course titles and everything. If you have 1 page, you're going to add a whole lot of content, because average federal resumes are not 1 page. They're longer than that. You do not need to write a cover letter for any federal job. So don't do it. Don't think about it. Just don't. They won't read it. Don't waste your time. Transcript, you're gonna have to have for sure, upload and all that. USA Jobs is where the jobs are, but boy, I gotta tell you something new. If you put your resume in the USA Jobs Builder system and you mark one resume searchable, an HR recruiter could find you in the Builder system because they're doing recruitment through, it's called Agency Talent Portal, and they're looking for candidates in the actual system now. So I put my dashboard up here and I'll show you. So there's my account. I think you can see this. Documents, here we go. I have 5 documents in here and I have one of them marked searchable. And this is absolutely mandatory. If you don't do this, you're hurting yourself because National Park Service was the first agency to start using the talent portal. So it's really, really important. And then let me ask you this question. I'm sure you do. You have a USA Jobs account set up? And is your resume a builder or is it upload? What do you have, builder or upload for your applications? Not sure. Okay, that's all right. You're a beginner. Upload. Wow, it's amazing. Most people have builder. I like upload better myself, but a lot of times you can have both. Now, if you do upload, I'll just show you this one here. No, both is better. Okay, here's upload. No, this is builder. So if you do upload, make sure that you have month and year to hour and hours per week in your upload, because these are required fields in the USA Jobs Builder. So, and if you don't have month and year and hours per week, your resume will get thrown out. So make sure you have it in there. Now, here's a disadvantage to the builder for you. Check this out. We're starting right out with work experience here. And that's not good for you because you're recent graduates and you need to have education first and maybe certifications first and maybe some technical skills first and then your internship and work experience. And you can't do that with the builder. When you use the builder, it's just work history, starts right out. So that's one of the big disadvantages of the builder. And so that's why it's better. You should really have both just in case. Okay, then there's another thing I need to show you on the profile that I just learned about myself. Let me find it. Preferences. Right here. So you have to say how much time you're willing to travel and, you know, be reasonable. But this one here, desired work locations, I just found out from a class I took with National Park Service myself about the recruitment stuff. One of the first things that the HR recruiters look for when they're thinking about writing to you about a job is they look for selected locations. So be careful here. And you can fill out more than one location. So if you say Colorado or California, San Diego, or whatever it is, and they have a job in their hand for Wyoming, and you don't say Wyoming, they're not going to contact you. So just, you know, really give this some thought because you might need to, they use this. This is one of the first things that they look at. And then check off all of the other information that's here, save preferences. So go back in and check your account when you get out of this class and really look at the locations you've selected and look at your resume and the builders and other documents. Here are the other documents. You all are going to need to have your transcripts in here. If you have a Schedule A letter for a person with a disability, you would have it in there. So other than that, it's not that difficult. Oh, I have to show you something else while we're here. All right, I'm going to look for interpreter. No, we'll do park ranger just for the heck of it. Park ranger in California. Okay, and then there's 12 jobs, and hiring path would be your now you might be land-based management, so we could check off this one here if you've done your internship time. Okay, then we know the grade level you want to go for is a, let's say a 7. Uh-oh, let's say 9. What grade levels are they? Park Ranger, what are they, 5? All right, 1. Okay, fine. All right, what I want to show you, which is very, very important, everybody watch this. I'm going to save the search. I'm going to click on Save Search, and I'm going to type Park Ranger, California, land management. I think I said GS 5 to 9 in that list I just did. That's it. Save. Okay, so now in my count over here, say save searches, there it is. So those jobs are going to come to me every day. And you really have to do this because these announcements for National Park Service jobs close after like 50 applications or 100 or 5 days or something. And if you don't have saved searches, then you're not going to hear about them because you're not going to change. You're not going to check USA jobs every single day. And I've got all these saved just for the heck of it. I do it when I teach classes. No, you can't leave location empty. You have to say either all or choose 5 places. Yeah. So let me ask you, do you have any saved searches? Well, you're going to do it after this class. You know, I hear about it from HR people because let's say you missed a job that was really important at your park, that was perfect for you, that you didn't hear about, and you complain to HR, you complain to the manager, and oh no, I didn't hear about it. Oh no. HR people will say you must set up saved searches so that you don't miss the positions. Because they might not walk up to you and say this job is here. They might not. So it's really, really important that you do that. All right, so I'll go back to PowerPoint. I just had to tell you a couple important things. No, I'm not. Wait, I want to go back. I want to show you an announcement while we're here. We'll look at this one here. View results. Okay, GS5. Nah, I don't want to look at that one. Let me find something more complicated. Anybody want to tell me a job I should look up? Go ahead and type a job title in there that you're interested in. I'll look it up. Give me a job title. Archaeologist, okay. Okay, agency will do DOI. Archaeologist, there it is, right there, Colorado, GS79. Okay. Look at that, they're closing it after 30 applications and it closes up anytime between now and 6/20. Okay, it's open to land-based management, so that could be you. You've got your 640 hours. Now I'm going to tell you what the keywords are for your resume, okay? Mandatory words that have to be in the resume to get best qualified. So I'm not going to read the duties yet because those are not the words to match. Go down further. So for the 0193, this is you need to type your courses in the resume. Look, you have to type in the resume these course titles right here. Don't trust HR managers to read your transcript. Do not. They might not. So type those right in the resume. And so read this very carefully on the courses. And then this is really, really interesting. 3 semester hours in the following areas. This is a lot of stuff they want right here. And this is why you want to put in projects as part of your courses. So if you took a course in history of archaeology, which you did, or his archaeological geographic area, wherever, if you did a study in this course, write it down, include it in the resume. So it shows that you've done a lot of research and archaeological work. Okay, then this is weird, amazing. Okay, this is for a GS7. Wow. All right, here it is. 1 full year experience in this stuff right here. Or graduate school, or superior qualifications, which is a 3.0. But still, these are the words you want to try to get into your resume. Restoration, mitigation actions, erosion, conducting investigations. See, they give you the words. They give you words that you can use in your internship or use in your courses. And then let me go down now and show you the questionnaire while we're here in case you've never seen one. Oh, that's nice. Look at that. They give you keywords right there. That's a help. Let me show you the questionnaire. Let's see how long it is. There it is. Each announcement usually has a questionnaire with job-related questions. And let's see how many there are. And I need to tell you how to answer them to get the best credit. So this job is a, so you check off that it's a 7 or 9, 7 or 9. Okay, coordinate with other specialists to determine archaeological research needs. The best answer for this question is E. And you can be E 5 different ways. You are either an expert at working with other specialists, or you've supervised specialists, or you have been consulted to help other people coordinating with specialists, or you have assisted specialists with something, or you have trained people to work with specialists in archaeological research needs. So in case you missed what I just said, you can be an E if you are an expert, supervisor, consultant on this topic, assist other people, or train other people. But in order to get the score and keep it, you have to say in your resume that you have worked with specialists in archaeological research needs. You don't have to say the exact words, but you do have to say you coordinated an archaeological digs or something like that. Have any of you write in the chat box if you've applied to jobs and filled out the questionnaire already. Just say yes or no, yes or no. Some of you have not. Well, I'm sure glad I'm talking to you about this because you do need to know. This questionnaire here is a score. It's a score at the end of it. It's 100 or 90 or 80 or 70 or something like that. And you need to get a score of, 90 and above to get best qualified. This is one of the ways they screen people out. So the next question has to do with the National Historic Act. And you better have that in your resume or you're not going to get best qualified. Because for archaeological work, you have to have knowledge of this. Let's see how many questions there are. 19. You have to look at this questionnaire before you apply for the job. And they do have the questionnaires in here as a preview. So make sure you look for them. This is not hard content, but you have to cover it. Literature, digital, inputting data into digital, more data. So you're going to have data in here. So all the announcements have this information. And I'll do one more. Somebody else typed in a preference. Geologist. Only two. All right, let's look at this one. This is mining. Okay. BLM. All right, this is GS 9 to 12, closes on, oh, it's open forever. Wow. Open to the public. Okay, you can apply. So let's look for the keywords for the GS9 job. The keywords for the job are not in the duty section. I'm scrolling past. They are down here in this. Oh, I see. They're having cutoffs. All right, they're doing cutoffs. Oh, that's nice. Look at that. So sweet and short. Make sure you put in there how you interpret statutes and regulations or solid mineral actions. So in this resume, you have to list the specific names of the statutes and regulations that you follow. You have to have that in the resume typed. Inspection of mineral operations. The word inspection better be in there. Has to be. Enforcement of laws. Maybe you've done that. Or you have knowledge of enforcement of laws. Gathering, assemble, analyze information, solid material activity. Yeah, that's a fourth one. And then working with interdisciplinary teams. So these 4 sentences that are here are extremely real. And in your research work or your college work, you need to be able to cover the statutes, mineral operations, enforcement, inspection, solid material activity, and interdisciplinary teams. Those words have to be in the resume. 100% must be in the resume. If they're not in the resume, you're not going to get best qualified. You got it? Every single job announcement is the same thing. This section here is, you have to match it. And then you go down here to the questionnaire. Oh, they tell you courses here. There's going to be a test. Oh, there, where's the courses? Look at that. There they are. Type the courses in your resume under the education section. Type them. Don't expect them to read the transcript. They might look at it, but I don't trust them. I need it to be there. Climate change. Yeah, right. Oh, there you go. Those are courses typed in the resume for geologists. They give it to you right there. They give you a lot of good words. Now let's look at the questionnaire. And oh, there, look at that. Nice. Compliant. I said those were, I didn't say project management. Nope, nope. I did not say that. I just said, I didn't say inspection. So add that one, because project management would be there. Your resume must contain duties, month and year, hours per week. You don't have to put salary in, but you can if you want. It doesn't matter. Oh, wait, I want to show you the questionnaire. And sometimes it's hard to find. There it is. The last one had, I think, 19 questions. This one, here we go, starting with 5. Oh, look, they give you the laws right there. Thank you. Those are the laws they want to see in your resume. So, if you can put all of them, that's good. Select all of the mining operations you've inspected. Whoa, that's hard. You might have education having to do with that. Oh, a lot of questions. Oh, this is intense. Oh, geez. 31 questions. I'm sorry. It's a lot. You have to read them and check the best. Select all the statements that best describe your experience in program leadership, management, and coordination. You probably check most of them off. I don't know about the budget one. Maybe. Might have something to do with mining geologists and There could be some money involved. That's a pretty hard question. Just check off all that you can, do your very best. And then the rest of them are, oh, let's see what this one is. Select the following statement having to do with writing. I regularly write memoranda. I write substantive SOPs. I draft journal correspondence. I write internal documentation. I draft input on NEPA. Was quite an announcement. But that's why I want to show it to you, is because here it is. Do your very best with it. Wow, somebody spent a lot of time on that one.
Lori Morgan.
I want to go right to the book and show you a couple of samples in the book. And I have all the sample resumes in one page here. So you can go and look at them as you choose. And I'll show you page 66. Here's Savannah's resume, and she did get hired at FDA. And see right here, I have these words: authorized for post-secondary recruitment direct hire authority. You all need to type that on your resume, because that is a hiring authority for recent graduates. If you've graduated within the last 2 years, you are a part of that hiring authority. And that means that they could hire you outside of USA Jobs. So when you go fix up your upload resume, type that in the top of the resume, okay? And then you can see her courses are right here, right? And then she has high school, but you don't have to have high school. Doesn't matter. And then there's one of her positions. And we've got hours per week, dollars, street address, you don't have to do supervisor if you don't want, that's not mandatory, but it's good if you can do it so they can call and get a reference. Here's an independent study, research findings, and then look at the skills list. You all have skills. You're going to need to have a skills section on your resume. We've got laboratory clinical skills, computer skills, and knowledge of laws and regulations. This is in the book, page 67, and you need to refer to it when you update your resume. So thinking about your resume now, do you have a separate skills section now on your resume? All right, good, good, good. Well, build it out, make it very technical, very specific. You can add programming languages, all kinds of things into it. Yes, you can expand it. I know, this is really, really good. All right, let me show you another sample. So the resumes are not one page. They are really not. They're like 3. I'm going to do negotiate in just a second. Archives technician 78. So here we have right at the top again, authorized for post-secondary. Make sure you type that on the resume. And we've got a summary of some experience. You can do that. We've got archives experience, research experience as a list here, which you can do also. This is a summary of skills. And then we have education. As you can see, if you use the builder, education is going to be at the end. So, it's not best for a new grad to have their education at the end. I like to see it at the top. And then we've got specialized coursework and archivist practicum here. There's an internship, selected paper. So there's a lot more information in the resume than you might have in yours now. Let me show you another one. I'll show you Amada. She's in the government now, but her resume is really good. She's got a summary of her IT experience up here. her computer skills, certifications. She did get into an Army Knowledge Leader program at DoD, and it was really an incredible opportunity, a lot of rotations, technical experience. And then there's the position she had before. We use a little bit of all caps in the resumes for the duties. So she put in all caps configuration data, configuration verification to make sure the words stand out. So this resume is very detailed, a lot of information in here. Let me ask you another question. When are you going to be applying for new positions? Like how many months from now? All right, well, some of you have time to work on your resume, but I'm really glad we're having this class, even if it's really short, it doesn't matter. The point is that you need to get ready for applying. Now you know about the questionnaire. Now I want to show you something else that's super important. So step 9, well, no, we'll talk about 8 and 9. 8 is the interview and 9 is the offer. And we'll go to page 96 first. Tips about the interview are that the interview is open-ended questions. They'll ask you, can you tell me about a time when you led a project? What was the project? What was your role? And what did you do? And what was the outcome? You have to tell stories to do a government interview, and they ask 5 or 6 stories, and they give you they score you on each answer that you speak. So you have to be really specific and get prepared for it. Here's an example. If you're going to be doing software training, can you tell me about a time when you provided basic training to users of a software package? And then you talk about the users, the software package, how you train them, how long it took. And the answers to your question could be 3 minutes or so, not 1 minute. You have to really give detailed answers. And here's some samples of questions they might ask you. Communication, please describe a time when you had to communicate under difficult circumstances, could be a question. Planning, organizing, problem solving is a big one. Describe a time when you analyze data for multiple solutions to a problem. What was your situation and what happened? So just get ready to tell stories. Now, in the beginning of the class here, we typed up projects. Those are stories, what you just typed up right there. So now I want to show you another thing. I'll go past the interview here. You can attempt to negotiate your offer for the government job. No guarantee, but you can try. And I have a sample of a letter here. This one says, congratulations, you've been selected for Consumer Safety Officer, GS9, Step 1, which does also include locality pay of 30% more. She's in California. So there's the offer letter. And then you can write a letter back. It's called the Superior Qualifications Letter. And here's a sample of it. Thank you for the offer of Consumer Safety Officer, GS9 Step 1, which includes locality pay. I believe that my education and experience will contribute immediately. Based on my superior qualifications, I would like to request GS9 Step 5, student loan repayment of $75,000, reimbursement to relocate, telecommute requests. You probably can't get that with National Park Service, but you could ask for it. So you can ask for this. And then after you ask for it, then you need to type up why you have superior qualifications. And in this case, she put her courses that were relevant. Then she wrote about her experience on projects. Then she put in her list of skills, which were very detailed, and she sent the letter. So Now, the government can only pay up to 60,000, but she typed 75, it doesn't matter. The thing about this letter is that if you don't write the letter and ask for the student loan or the higher step, you will not get it. You will get step one. And if you write this letter and they say, no, I'm sorry, we can only offer you GS9 step one. Do you want the job? They'll tell you, they'll let you have the chance to say, I'll take it. Okay, fine. Can't hurt to ask. I mean, it depends on your background, your qualifications, your experience for the job, the budget they have, the location of the job. But putting $60,000 on the table is not good. You need to ask for it. I know y'all have student loans. I'm sure of it. I don't need to ask you that. Everybody has student loans when they get out of school. Unless you got a scholarship, that would be great. But still, here it is. This is the letter. And you can ask for it. I coach people to write these letters. If I coach 10 people on writing these letters, I review the letter they write. 8 out of the 10 will get something. They might get step 4. They might get student loan. You can also ask for a 25% sign-on bonus if you want. I've been seeing announcements lately that actually state in the announcement that student loan repayment is a possibility. You should really read the announcements because you might see that I've seen them say that student loan is possible, relocation funding is possible, and a sign-on bonus could be possible. Actually stated in the announcement. But they're not going to hand it to you. They're not going to hand it to you. Now, USDA does hand out the recruitment bonus of $7,000 for anybody who takes a job as commodity meat inspector. Everybody gets $7K for signing on. You do not have to ask for it because they are so desperate. But everybody else, you're competing extremely with for these jobs. So you're going to want to write this letter. So we only have about 10 more minutes. I'd like to know, you can speak since I can see you. What questions do you have? I want to answer questions that you might have because I don't know all your questions.
Hi, Kathryn. Thanks so much for providing this class today. Great to see you again. Yeah, I did have a question on, can we make our CCAR statements longer or keep them as short as possible? Is there an optimal length, as long as possible, as direct as possible? Maybe a bit more specifics on that, if possible. Thank you.
Well, I think the length that I have in the PowerPoint is probably pretty good. You don't want it to be too long because the resume, I'll put it up on the screen again. I think this is long enough. It could be a little bit longer. If it's a complicated project, it could be a little bit longer. Can you see it on the screen there? Yeah. If you have, the thing is, you're going to want to write 2 or 3 or 4 of these, but your courses in school, projects at work, internships. So thank you for asking. So Carmen asked, just want to ask if there's a possibility they could rescind the offer if you're trying to negotiate, or do they still are? No, they're not going to rescind it. Nope. Write the letter. They'll just say,
okay, great, thank you.
Yeah, they'll just say, no, I'm really sorry. We don't have budget for tuition reimbursement and we can't negotiate. Do you want the position as we've offered it? Straight out. They'll do that. What's the main difference between federal and private? Oh, gee, okay, right. Okay, main difference is private sector resumes are 1 to 2 pages for you all. 2, preferably. I can't stand a 1-page resume for a student. It's not enough. The big difference is content. More sentences, more description, more specifics. And all of you are recent grads. You have papers and projects and studies. You have to write about them. Private sector resumes do not have them in their resume. They're short. I taught a class at Virginia Tech a lot of years ago, and 20 engineering students there. And I said, how do you put your capstone project in your resume? And they said, we don't. What? Yes, you have to put your capstone in the resume. It takes a whole year. It's a project. There's materials. There's a plan. There's a thesis. So yes, you write your project. That is the biggest difference right there, is more details and more information. Because if it's not on paper, the HR people do not infer anything. If it's not in writing, it's not there. It doesn't exist. So that's why more content. And if the job says something about writing, that you have to write materials, reports, your resume needs to speak about writing. So that's the real difference, is the resume must be clear and match the announcement. What do steps GS9 mean? Oh, that's a good question. I'll answer that real quick here before we go. I'll go to my website. Let me show you the GSA schedule real quick here before we go. This is the basic GSA schedule right here. GS9 is 51,000 starting. A GS4 would be 56. A GS7 would be 61. But if you are in a certain locality, let me show that to you. Locality pay, you earn a little bit more. So there's Albuquerque. They've got a 5% locality area they'll pay in addition to the basic. And Georgia, 5%. So you can, here, let me put this in the chat box. There. So you can look at that later. Let me give that to everybody. Jesse asked, do you recommend creating a resume for each announcement that we apply to? Should we build on a prior resume to include requirements? I recommend you have one good resume, like I'm teaching you, and then you amend it for the new announcement, because you don't need to create the whole wheel. Hold on a second. No, so just write one good resume with your projects, your CCARs, your accomplishments, your courses, interests. Oh, one more thing. I have to hang up in a second. One more thing. Make sure at the very end of the resume, you add volunteer experience and sports and interests, because that's sparkle in the resume. Don't leave out volunteer and nonprofit. And if you're an avid kayaker, an avid cliff climber or something, put it in there, because they love that stuff, especially at NPS. Thank you, everybody. We're all finished. I have to teach it again in about 8 minutes. So we're all finished for today. And I'm going to save the chat here right now. And I'll send it to my coordinator, and hopefully they'll get it to you. All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kathryn.
Thank you. I'll finish.
Thank you, Kathryn.
I think you got it. Thank you.
Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.